Welcome back to Brushstrokes of Being. Today I have Karen van Hoey Smith as my guest. Karen is a mentor, art director, educator, and curator. Karen has years of experience in the art world, and today we will have a conversation about changes in the art market, her experience in Hungary, where she curated an exhibition for a charity, and discuss whether art is truly art or portal/token for the viewer. And finally, what about the saying, my art speaks for itself? So, welcome back, Karen. Yay. I'm really
Thank
excited to
you.
have another conversation with you.
I know. Thank you so much for having me on there. And thank you for being patient with me with my recurrent throat issue and putting this back. I appreciate that.
Well, I started a bit worry about you, but I'm glad you are here. As usual, I start with a quote. The
Mm.
painter who works for everyone who pays him without considering whether it is good or bad is like a man who hires out his soul.
That's
Anyone, any idea who this is?
no, but that's kind of harsh.
It is
Yeah.
harsh. Yeah, it was
Probably. I
Leonardo da
mean, Da
Vinci.
Vinci would have been right on. Da Vinci?
Yeah,
Yeah, I thought it would be.
yeah,
But that
yeah,
is in the prime because that is in the prime of his argument time with Michelangelo.
yeah,
That's what it is.
yeah. But also because in the Renaissance, the Medici family used artists for their own agenda and power and propaganda. And in that respect, not much has changed. But we
Well,
are
in those times as
witnessing,
well, that was the switch over. Before then, artists weren't really classified as good. It was tradespeople
yeah,
that were
yeah,
classified as the artist. Like an
yeah,
actual artist was the one that would go in the back door. It was only really over that Medici, and that was purely just for, well, it's the Pope as well, that kind of grandiose about them that they elevated the state of the artist. Before,
yeah.
you wouldn't want to tell people you're an artist. You'd rather
No,
say that,
no.
you
And
worked at
and and
Barber.
you did all kind of things. You also were the graphic designer, as we have
Yeah.
now separated all these things. You did it all. You did it all. You illustrated. You did it all. Yeah,
Yeah, you had your cartoons made until the invention of paper.
exactly. Yeah. First question. It is that the decades of contemporary art became a financial instrument as much as a cultural good, like blue chip works and ultra high net worth individuals made art for as a form of asset parking, withdrawing money and tax optimization. Is that true? Is that it has been the case for
I think
decades?
it's way more than decades. I think it's been a lot longer than we actually think. But I think the what we call now kind of contemporary works, so the ultra
Mm-hmm.
contemporary and the forced market, which is now showing through the galleries, which are now not succeeding by overinflating artists.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that has been going on for an awful long time. I mean, I mean, you must know this, but in every country, especially in the UK, when there is any type of war or threat of nuclear war, the art is moved at the same time as all the important people. So in the Second World War here in the UK, obviously you had the version of the Port National Gallery in Wales in an old coal mine
Mm-hmm.
there. And if you ever remember those pictures of burglars when you were younger, with the black eye
Yeah,
mark
yeah, 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 yeah,
bag, it
yeah,
said swag, silver, wine, art, and gold.
yeah.
Swag. They're the four things which are where you park your asset. Although now it's silver, wine, and whiskey, art and gold.
Okay.
These are a huge bankable, investable thing. I mean, that's why there's scams going on at the moment with barrels of whiskey. But I think what you're probably referring to is that tendency of those mid-tier to slightly upper tier galleries to overinflate an artist to take advantage of those new buyers who have
Mhm.
no artistic background and no real need for it, that they just want to flip things. So like the Banksy, the Coons, the Munakamis, the things like that, the Chapman brothers, the artists that don't the buyers that just want to shelve something for an increase in profit.
Yeah.
And if you see the yield, the ROI yield on a Banksy, it's remarkable. It's way more than land and property.
Yeah.
If you've got a
Yeah.
property and you're renting it out, you've got what, maybe an 8% yield. Whereas on a Banksy, it can be like 15% in a year, 23%. So that element of it has been causing problems.
Yeah.
And that then has caused a bit of concern for people that weren't sure when they were like, we thought this is bankable. But this is why galleries, if they're not financially conduct regulated, should not be selling as an investment.
Hmm.
Should be giving a past track of how things have performed
Yeah.
and a portfolio. But as we know, you should go for art that you love. You should, if you're building a collection, you have an established like or desire, you support some emerging hopefuls, and you've got your flippable pieces that you know are going to sustain, but you need to have enough money in there in order to ride that out.
Yeah.
Another problem, I think personally, sorry if you're listening, Sotheby's and Christie's and the large auction houses that actually loan the money
Yeah.
for that, because they're not only making the money on the buyer's fees, but they're loaning the money for you to buy it. And that was kind of on the secondary market overinflating some of
Yeah.
these and then just doing the little private sales on the side, which kind of made the market go a bit funny. So, yes, I think there's tax optimization. I mean, Texas, for example, you can write off art against your tax, your profits. So, places like that, people just go, right, I'll buy this, I'll buy this, I'll buy this because they want to park their tax. It doesn't mean that's a genuine value for that painting.
Hmm.
From the secondary market, I can tell you it's very easy to manipulate markets. I've seen it happen on small scales. Like, I don't know if you know, but there's an English pottery that's blue and white striped, and it's called Cornish ware. And it
Okay.
was really popular in the 60s. So if you ever watch a 60s British drama, they'll have this Cornish ware. And it just used to get boxes and boxes of this stuff come through auction and it would sell for nothing. And this couple went, ooh, if I start buying all of them, people are going to be like, well, hang on, who's buying them? Why is that price going up on them? Because someone else would go, well, if they're buying them, there must be something. And then they started chasing it. And the price got higher and higher and higher. Then they dumped everything. And then it crashed.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
that happens in many markets, depending
Yeah.
if you've got the money to put into it.
Yeah.
You can,
It's the famous bubble, isn't it? You blow it up, you blow it up, you blow it up, and then poof.
and that's what happens in it primarily when you capitalize art.
Mm.
And that's why the shift at the moment in the art world to a more democratization of the art world is encouraging, although we can already see the capitalists trying to capitalize the
Mm.
democratization of the art world.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
bit
Yeah.
like blockchain, blockchain, the decentralized ledger of life. Oh,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
can we centralize it and put it through some banks and make it
Hmm.
legal? Anyway,
Exactly.
that
Yeah.
question at all there. But it is,
Yeah.
you're right, asset parking. It is whitewashing money for some people. It's tax optimization for a lot. But then there's just so much more that people are buying because they love it. And if
Mm.
they do happen to back the right horse, if we're going to use the capitalist way, well, good on them because they supported an artist at the right time.
Mm.
And, it's nice to reward people like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And did the Noodler scandal, you just said to me there are more scandals, but let's take the Noodler scandal, have a ripple effect in the art world?
I mean, it did really have a ripple effect, but I said, but it is something that the art world is kind of weirdly should have got used to. And this is why we should do, people should do due diligence. This is why
Yeah.
banks should be more responsible. This is why people should do due diligence. This is why artists should do due diligence. There's a new one, and I've totally forgotten the name of it, and I do apologize. I think it's called The Great Art Fraud on Netflix at the moment. Obviously, this is 24th of October, 2025. And again, this is after the Nuglet scandal,
Yeah.
giving this young guy money who doesn't have experience in the market, who doesn't have this backing, that doesn't come from that family. He just had that confidence, that air about him, and he hung around the right people. What we need to do is not be impressed by people like that.
Yeah. But apparently, and that's what this book says,
Okay.
why we all fall for it every time. And it talks about multiple things. It has the Nutler Gallery story in it, but it is apparently something in us that we constantly fall for it. When it sounds too good to be true, we think, oh, yes, and then we go instead of, wait a minute. Yeah, but would you agree then that it starts where artists do their due diligence, why they archive what they do, that they say, okay, this is what I have, it's made then I use this and this material, and then it's sold, blah, 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 to that person who lived there and there, etc., etc.
I think what it is artists, a lot of these people prey on artists because artists are desperate to get their work out. Also
Mm,
happens in the music industry. And this comes from classical to whatever. If you get given the opportunity to work with someone like that or to be around or someone's going to collect your work, you'll
mm,
often be blindsided by the whole, well, they're a gallery. I'm in a gallery, or wow, this
uh,
person's offered to do it, of course.
mm,
Not checking if other people have been paid. Because the minute you say that, they just say, oh, whatever.
yeah,
Well, I can go on to someone else.
yeah,
And you don't want to miss that opportunity. And this
yeah,
is very much, I'm going to be really bad and say it's American, but it's not. But America has kind of really taken ownership of this. That sense of entitlement, of opportunity, of grab things, of things looking better than they are. And if you don't take it, you're going to miss out. That feeling of it, when
yeah,
actually, or I'm going to miss out if I don't take this opportunity.
mm,
And hopefully that's going to start going because what we've noticed now over the years, we found out, especially with women, how many women had to go through that awful casting couch scenario to
yeah,
get a job. And how many who did stand up were completely shunned and lost the thing that was their skill, their passion, their practice.
yeah.
And
Well,
those,
you see it in the art world. I've just done a whole series about Reclaim the Gaze of female artists. Well, Artemisia Gentilici, Elisabetta Sorani, they were absolutely stunning. And they were just like, yeah, you can't paint. You don't have the brain for it. And that went on till now. And if you read Catherine McCormack, Women and see how we see women and how that drips through in the culture today, it's still apparent very much.
The Royal Academy's had its first solo show of a woman last year. And it's been
Wow.
running
Yeah.
since the mid
Yeah.
1700s.
Yeah.
Now, they did have two founding members, Angelica Kaufman and Mary Moser, who were two founding members who were women. But after that, women were banned because a man tried to date both of them. And of course, it's their fault for that. But it's the same with, I mean, I'm a big supporter of, I teach my daughter STEMinism, which is science, technology, engineering, and maths, but the feminism and all the women who have been excluded over time.
Yeah.
We've only relatively recently, within the past 10 years, acknowledged um, that Florence Nightingale was more than just a lady with a lamp, that she
Yeah.
was
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
without her hygiene, notes at the end of the bed, statistics and data wouldn't be kept, and the founding of nursery. But Mary Seacole, who was also on the front line, she was a black woman from Jamaica who put her own money to go front line in the war, Crimean War, to help soldiers. Only recently, relatively, has she been recognized.
Mm.
And and we get this in the art world, we get it in loads of different worlds. But and I'm not just saying this is purely about women. I'm saying this can also be for a lot of different things. If you've come from maybe a relatively poor, deprived area, or
Yeah.
somewhere where you've had
Yeah.
no connection to the arts in any particular way, you can be preyed upon.
Yeah.
And some
Yeah.
of these can be those TV singing shows. Oh, I'm gonna get everything when I get there, but they're still circling around. And I think what we've got to do is be able to be brave enough to say, I deserve to be paid for this.
Hmm.
'Cause you must know how many times have you been, oh, if you paint this, we'll just help, we'll promote you.
Yeah. 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 Well,
Really?
I had the same also as a musician. They don't ask me for that anymore because I bluntly say no, thank you.
Yeah,
Just pay me, okay,
do something
but
in the
not.
background?
But
No.
it's the
Hey,
same. It's the same as
mm,
when I was a practicing musician. They asked me, "Can you play in the gallery by the opening?" Yeah, but it costs you so much. Oh, but it is an opportunity. I said, "Oh, no, thank you. You pay me 250 euros
yeah,
or guilders, it was at that time,
Hilders.
or choose someone else. I'm not going to do that. I'm a
Well,
professional."
can you imagine going into a dentist and saying, thank you for fixing my teeth? Now, I'm not going to pay, but what I'm going to do is every time I smile and someone comments, I'm going to recommend your dentist. No way. Or if I went into a supermarket and I had a dinner party for 10 and I walked out and said, I'm not paying for the food, but 10 people are coming. So I'm going
Yep.
to tell all the 10 people that I bought the food here and I'm going to cook it really well. And you're going to get 10 customers. No. Yeah.
No,
They
it
would,
doesn't work. No, go to a lawyer and say, well, you do this case for me, unless they agree with the pro bono, but then still,
but then
not just
exactly.
asking then, and then they do the case and say, yeah, well, but I will promote you.
Yeah, well, we got in the newspaper about my awful murder. Surely you're going to get more murderers wanting you.
Something like that.
But
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
just really, as I said, like it's about that due diligence.
Hmm.
It's checking because the amount of times because I used to represent artists and I was an art broker, the amount of times I've had to try and get money out of galleries, consultants. I mean, at the moment, I'm currently going through it with someone that's got a Viennese artist of mine, and they've had his work for over a year, damaged one of them, not giving it back, politely mansplained to me the art world, which I was incredibly grateful for. And given every opportunity to get it back. But it's because at that point the artist is like, brilliant, I'm going to be in this art fair. It's an open call. I don't have
Yeah.
it's going to be a great opportunity. But that great opportunity has now taken three of his pieces out of action, which are very much in desire for an entire year and caused nothing but stress.
Yeah. Yeah. That's not what you want. Yeah. You have to really, because what you see also nowadays, um, the open calls are everywhere,
Yeah.
everywhere. And you really have to look into it. You have to go to the website. You have to read the small print. Um,
I tot up the money. That's what I do. I work out how many people on average I think are going to apply for this and how much they're going to get into it. And then
exactly. I
and
had
I
the
say,
same. That
what's the
was the,
prize in return for
yeah,
that?
yeah,
Because I set up an art prize once with this company and they were just going to do a show. And I said, no, if you're serious. So in the end, the prize was £1,000, a website designed or your website audited, a full year worth of free accounting software as a business, residency as an artist for a year with that company, and the show. Now that's a prize worth entering
yeah,
because that's someone who's putting their money where their mouth is. Do you know what I mean? Because that's
yeah,
everything you would possibly need as a working artist right there. Oh my God, website, residency, accounting software, £1,000 and the show. And then the other people on there get like a really good mention that, it's good, but it's worth entering that. If it's just, we're going to do a show, I'm going to take 50%, you've got to get it to London into this
mm,
little gallery that no one's going to be there and it's in August because no one's there. And then
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I'd like you to pick it up.
yeah.
But I'm guessing this many people are entering and it's £30 a time. How much money are they making?
Yeah. Yeah, that is a big problem. You really have to look into it and go deeper. And I got a call from a not long ago. It was, I think, beginning of this year, March, April. And they, yeah, we bring art in a museum, and they do it in Dubai because Dubai is actually growing in art business, in art market, but also China, etc. And they called me, and I said, well, I first want to know, what is the price? What is the price? Well, it will be, and I'd like, forget it, forget it. Yeah, but it is also our costs for this and this and this. No, thank you,
Yeah.
because it is they
I
tr-
find
they
I
really
find
try to lure you in.
I find Dubai is full of a lot of promises at the moment and there's not been a lot of action. It feels like
Yeah,
there's a lot of people. So some people went over, did really well when it was really emerging. Then it attracted all the bees to the honey pot. Now they can't taste the honey, so they're buzzing around to make lots of noise. And
yeah,
they're trying to hustle around there and going, hey, there's honey, there's honey. And it's almost like a pyramid thing. And yes, they've got the Dubai Art Fair. And yes, they've got the promise there. But I've- it still needs that actual level of buyers that are going there
yeah,
to do it rather than just somebody's friends. Because
yeah,
that's what I used to call, I mean, I know we use the word vanity gallery for pay to play these days, but vanity gallery for me was when you would get someone who collected art and went, I want my own art gallery. and they'd
Hmm.
get an art gallery because they wanted to have their favorite artist. So they would then invite their friends to it and they would buy a few pieces until that market was saturated. And then they would just give up because it was just another business.
You see it now.
Now, the problem is those artists, you've now got a CV full of galleries that don't exist anymore.
Yeah.
And that is not fair on the artist. Now, the person, yes, they've sold some. If you were there on those first ones, great. But you haven't got that length of longevity. And being an artist is about your long-term credibility. This
Yeah.
isn't, it might be a sprint for that person, but it's a marathon for you. And that's unfair. So now they have people call the what I call pay to play. So you pay for a bit of wall space
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah.
People call those vanity galleries, but I think it's because they're flipping it back on the artist being vain. But I don't think the artist is being vain. I think the person that wants the gallery that sets it up himself so his friends can see the artwork that he likes and he can make them buy it is vanity because
Yeah.
it's look at me. Now,
Yeah.
vanity for artists isn't that. That's actual genuinely. This is what I think an artist should do. We should be in a gallery. I need to get in a gallery. Wow, I'm in a gallery in London because they're seeing opportunity there for people to see their work. They're looking at it as visibility. They're
Yeah.
not just going, oh, I've done this,
Mm.
because they could just do their own little show somewhere. They want to be
Yeah.
part of something.
Yeah.
So I think pay to play is more appropriate for that than saying vanity, but there's a lot of them out there because they realize that artists are, I mean, would you agree with me that a lot of artists have insecurities, anxieties, imposter syndrome?
Yeah. Yeah. I think they have.
Yeah.
I think
And
they have. Yeah.
they always go for money of people of fear. Why do you think the weight loss market was so big?
Yeah. But it also has to do with, I think, with the oversaturated market almost on Instagram, especially the Instagrammable market. That
Mm,
was especially after COVID there. And when you're a serious artist, I mean, it takes at least a month to paint this.
yeah.
And I can't just do every. I don't have Instagrammable art in that sense.
Yeah.
But then it gives you, because you see it, it gives you an anxiety. Oh God, I need to do that. Oh God, I need to do. And
Which
then
is
you have
very,
those people
very,
say,
yeah.
you are not earning with your art, then it's an expensive hobby. And I think you don't even know what you're talking about. And
No.
people who selling strategies, everyone has his own strategy. You can't just copy one
But it's
strategy and
interesting.
then hope that it
Yeah.
works for you.
There's no cookie cutter, and
No.
there's a lot. Tim Robbins has got a lot to answer for. So a lot of people have done the Tim Robbins course, applied it to art. You want the person, they go, I made this amount of money. Yeah, but you're not. You're making money out of selling courses to teach
Yeah.
other people. It's a
Yeah.
pyramid thing,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, I do strategy sessions with artists, and we might have some outline key words, which I tend to change because I don't like the business words for art. But every artist is different. Even if I said to you, I want you all to paint that apple, right? And there's 20 of you. Well, some of you are going to paint, some of you are going to sculpt, some of you are going to abstract it, some of you are going to do it neatly, some of you are going to just mess it up, some of you are going to refuse to do it, some of you are going to sing it. It's all going to be different. And your work has got a different market. Your desires are different. Your actual core desires of how you want your art to be perceived, how you want it to change things, if you do or not. And there's nothing wrong with any of it. If you want to make money out of your art, brilliant. Because, if you go out there and do a load of little happy Highland cows that everyone loves with bows in them, you know what it's done? It's taught people to buy art. Now, when they've learned to buy art and it's okay to buy it, then you can start to teach them more about what's skillful, what's not skillful. Are you looking for this? Is it price? Is it decoration you're looking for? None of it's wrong because
No.
all of it helps each other, but you're all going to have a different feeling to it. And
Yeah.
yours is, I don't want to be the pop up, done another one, done another one, done another one. Yours is about that messaging, that integrity, that lifelong experience that's coming through it and oozing through it to get out something which may look for some people like you've just done it, but it's like dressage.
Yeah. But that is
Dressage
that
again,
is
they're just making
that.
horses dance, and you think, oh,
Yeah.
you don't know how
Yeah.
hard
But
they
that
are.
is mastering, and that takes a long time. And that
Yeah,
is the process of creativity. And Ian McGilchrist writes about that very brilliantly, how that actually works. And it's the same with, well, I'm a classically trained musician, but you can't
Are
just
you a
pick
cellist?
up. Hmm?
Are you a cellist or are you?
No, I'm working on my cello now
Okay.
because I'm a flutist, but I have tinnitus, so I can't do that. It's too high. And
Oh,
now I
you want
started
cello,
with cello because I love that so freaking much.
love. Do you know, I mean, I've got ADHD, as you might have realized, but tried some medication a while back, and the main reason was I want to play the cello. I wanted to feel calm enough because I found now in the UK you can rent instruments.
Oh, okay.
Quality is really good. Good
Yeah.
quality. They deliver it to your house, and if you decide then to buy the instrument, it comes off it.
Mhm.
So they do that. I just wanted to feel calm enough to play the cello, and rather than just going, "Hey, I'm gonna get a cello," and then go, it's just sitting in the corner. But
No.
the vibrations on the cello,
It is amazing when you have it in front of you and you start to, well, learn the fingerboard and start to use the bow, and especially also the low string, the C. It resonates completely through your body.
yeah.
And so
Uh,
what I do with this painting behind me, that's Sol Cabetta, by the way, one of my favorites. If you hear her play, oh my freaking God, that's amazing. It is painting the invisible visible.
yeah.
So it's also, you see, it's a movement. I try to get the movement in. Um,
How did you find? I mean, I know we're going off, but it's all creativity. How did you find going from wind instrument to string to bow,
I
especially?
come from a string family.
Oh, do you?
Yeah,
A
my
bow?
grandfather
Yeah,
played violin, and they put the violin under my chin when I was 9 or 8. Didn't work. Violin didn't work.
yeah.
But that
But you thought,
I have
I
this.
still want to annoy my neck somehow. If I can't do the violin, I'll do the flute.
No, I just like the sound. I like you can sing, it's singing, and you can color. So the problem for me with not being able to, when I have ear plugs in, I have earplugs, I can't color the nuances I did before. And when I do cello, I can because I
Yeah,
don't have
I
the
kind of
earplug.
equate clarinet and cello. I don't know why. For me, they've got that same, I mean, we've all got that same almost that vibration. So when I hear the clarinet, I get it here,
Yeah,
almost like the cello.
yeah. But that is a thing. When you have children, and then we go to your endeavor last week, which is
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah.
When you have children, and they most of the time they start at 8, and they come to you, they know exactly what they want to play. So
Yeah.
don't shoehorn them into something because you accidentally have it at home. No, they know, and don't ruin it, please, please. So for
No.
me, it was always either cello or flute. Yeah.
Oh, I've had to sit with my friend's brother doing like this and going, well done, Richard.
Well, when you start studying at the Academy of Music, and you hear all the violinists, you have like, oh, to cramp my neck.
Yeah, you're just like, anyway,
But
we're
yeah, it's
distracted,
an
aren't we?
yeah. But anyways,
Yeah.
I want to ask you about your Hungary experience, the art market
Oh,
there, what you did. Enlighten me.
yeah, I was just trying to find, I wrote down somewhere some really handy card to remind you when the auction's going to be, but I shall remember it in a moment. Yeah, so we're over to Hungary where there's it's it's very serendipitous how you meet people, isn't it? And how they all connect. I had an amazing dream last night about this, but I digress. We met this wonderful gentleman called Zsolt and Kinga, and they invited me over to Hungary to Art Market Budapest, which is amazing, by the way. Really is a great art market. It's beautiful, beautiful location, wonderful people, great artwork there as well. But it was working with a charity called Talent Deserves a Chance. These are children who are in state care, who are either, as they would say, orphaned, or sometimes it's just through kind of care. And this is children that have been brought over from war zones and dropped in
Mm,
Hungary to become to have a safer place. And these also come from standardly, as happens in a lot of societies, level of neglect and abandonment, etc. These children range between 8 and 18, and they have been paired with a mentor who's an artist or a group, and they paint together, they talk about things together, they create together. And their artwork then was going to be put into this into the art fair. Like this, it's like imagine you're there and you're like 9 years old, and your
Mm.
art is there in an art fair with they had the Contemporary Museum of Montenegro was there, and your artwork is there, and your mentor's artwork is there as well. And it was just, and the money goes directly to the children, which is interesting because then it's that sense of, oh, wait, now they might not go on to become artists. I think one of them definitely will because I loved this piece. It sold immediately, and then somebody said the person said, "Look, I need to know what else they've done," and bought stuff from their studio as well. The artist is only about 10, and they bought 3 pieces of theirs already. And we had real interest, and it was, I mean, I can read art pretty well. That's one of my weird talents, and you can read the pain in a lot of
Yeah,
these, and you
yeah,
can read the
yeah,
stories in them.
yeah.
But some of them are just so actually well done. And I asked the mentors, did you guide with the composition? And they said no. All we did on that was say, stop, choose your color. Would these colors work? Would they clash? Some of them are really quite ingenious. They've tapped into that vibration. They've tuned that radio into their studio, which they do it at, is amazing as well. It's such a beautiful studio. It's like it's the first studio I've ever gone to where I felt really peaceful,
Mm.
like peaceful, not like sleepy peaceful, but meditatively peaceful. And I've
Zen.
never felt that in an artist studio before. And they've got several
Mm.
studios. It's the first one. They're usually a bit manic, aren't they? In
Uh,
studios.
Mine
They're
is not.
usually, oh no, no, this is a group
Oh,
studio.
oh, okay, a group studio.
Yeah,
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 yeah, yeah,
group
yeah, yeah,
studio. So it's several studios within a
yeah.
building. When
Mm.
it's your own, but when it's a group one, there's usually a bit of
Yeah, 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 yeah,
all
yeah,
legal
yeah.
stuff.
It's buzzing.
Yeah, it's
Mm.
buzzing, or it can be like kind of manic, stressful, someone's late, someone's doing this. This was so calm, and it's a wonderful space. So anyway, so we sold about 12 pieces at the actual show.
Wow.
And then they're going on to be auctioned in November, which if I give you the details, would you better post it
Yeah,
with
of course. Yeah.
in
Give me the
November,
details.
just in case anyone wants to, well,
Mm.
basically help and support, but
Mm.
also they're cracking pieces of artwork. They really are. Yeah, so it's great. They're really trying to launch. I think they're going to try to go to Serbia again, go to Serbia as well. But check out Art Market Budapest. It was really, I met the director of it. He's a fascinating guy. And yeah, and it was also sponsored by Veolia. Do you know Veolia? The French, they're like a waste clean
Yeah, I
energy
think, yeah, yeah.
massive company. They sponsor this with the children. So it's Veolia Hungary, but also their international development person is involved with it. Veolia want to work with children, giving them a talent deserve, matching them up with mentors, which is why I went from the VAA, because I'm the mentor. And my daughter came with me with
How did
that.
she like it?
Yeah, oh, she absolutely fell in love with Jolt and Kinga. Like she
Mm.
was devastated. She was really upset to leave. Like she was like,
Oh.
she just said, I'm gonna really miss them. And I
Mm.
got a lovely message yesterday going, we miss you.
Mm.
And I think I made some really good friends for life. But it's very different, Hungary. When I was there, I really did notice that there's not quite at the same level. Like we've had to battle for years being a woman. Even in the orchestra business, right? Until they started doing blind auditions,
Mhm.
you had a foreign name. And when I say foreign, I'm going to be honest, this is more xenophobia than when it's more about names from other countries as opposed to
Mhm.
European countries. The minute they started doing that, more women, more people from minority backgrounds started getting in.
Yeah,
More composers who were female or
yeah.
more composers that were female minorities, just than that. Now it's hard to we've had to fight a lot in Europe to get equal pay, to try and get equal rights, and it's still going. Over there, it's still a little bit like, don't tell people you've got a child, you're not going to get that job. Hide it away.
Mm.
And that's why I think they were really, really impressed and really wanted to encourage the fact that I said I don't have childcare. My child's coming with me. And I think that was a secret little championing, and it felt great because I do that. I don't think as a I am divorced. My ex-husband is actually getting married this week, today. He's getting married today. But he's not very well, and
Mm.
so my child has to come with me. Fact. You're not going to offer me the work, even though I'm talented to do it,
Mm.
even though I'm qualified to do it, even though I'm the best person for it, even though I'm the person I pitch for it. You're going to not choose me because I have a child.
Mm.
No. Mothers are the best, are going to be better than most people. Because you know what? We can deal with your toddler attitude over there. We can
Exactly.
we can still
Exactly.
keep
Yeah.
calm. We can
Yeah.
run your meeting, brush the floor, and probably wipe a little bit of pee coffee at the same time. No, you know. But women on the whole, because I mean, I don't know about you, but there was a fascinating study that was actually done in Israel. It was, I don't know how many years ago. But they got parents who considered themselves woke.
Oh gosh, I hate
No,
that word.
no,
Yeah.
no, I know I hate that word, but it was, parents that didn't prescribe to the wear pink, wear blue. They believed in, you can be who you want to be, wear what you want to wear. We equally believe in our children because they're children. And they had two parts of the experiment, and one was to encourage your toddlers, and they had to have one girl, one boy, similar ages, to go from point A to point B on a flat ground. And they equally encouraged them both. Then they put an incline of about 17 degrees or something like that. And they had to encourage both of them to get to the top. And every single set of parents said to the boy, come on, do it, get to the top. And they said to the girl, do your best. It doesn't matter if you don't get there.
Wow.
Now, when they were shown the results, they said, no, we equally encouraged. And then they saw themselves and were shocked because they truly believed that they were doing something else. And they
Mm.
realized, now, if something that subtle is still happening with parents that are actively making choices to not do that, but that small, subtle prejudice is in there,
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
that's going to
Yeah.
make that's what's made a huge difference. There's often women I find, whether you've got children or not, it's irrelevant. Men are told to go ahead and get what you want, and we're told to take one step, look left, is everyone okay? Everyone all right? Okay.
Yeah.
And you're as strong as your weakest person. So
Mm.
one of my multiple personalities, maybe I've got anxious Karen over there. Come on, anxious Karen. Drunk Karen. She's fallen over. So now we've all got to go back 3 steps. Come on. And we do that.
Mm.
Do you find like I mean I find that, so I think, with the work.
Well, yeah, I have experienced it
Yeah.
at home. Um, what I did as a woman wasn't important, as long as I was good for a possible husband, and the rest didn't matter. It's nice that you that you play music. It's nice. You want to do art? Well, we we don't think you will earn anything with it, but you're a woman, so
So it doesn't really
you
matter.
have to
You have your beautiful little
yeah,
hobbies.
exactly.
You'll
So that
attract a better
is,
husband if you're a
yeah,
good.
it took me some time to get over that, to actually see my worth.
Yeah.
And it
Really.
is, yeah, it really is. And so I became a classically trained musician. I became a classically trained artist. I became an art historian, MA. I am a cultural philosopher. I was in a PhD. I quit that for art history, but
Would there
because the
be a
professor
tiny,
went,
tiny touch of North European stubbornness in there, Karen?
I don't know. It is, I think I wanted to prove myself.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I mean,
And now I have like, you know what? I don't care. I don't care. I don't put any emphasis on it anymore. I
yeah.
paint because I know why I do
Yeah,
what
but
I
that's
do.
something we need to get over in order to then realize we didn't need that. Because
Yeah.
I come from a Dutch family, and I was very much like on the Dutch camp with my dad, and my brother was not interested. not interested in any of it. He was born in England. He's the only one that was, you know. And then I just remember I even had my Dutch family ring and I knew everything about the family. And then they went, my dad said, but you're never going to be a real Van Hoey Smith because you're a woman.
Wow. Yeah.
And so we've got a family ring, and the family ring, the skinny bit, because we don't get the crest around the outside because we're women. The pointy bit's supposed to go up. So actually, my logo for my business. Oh no, I've got the background on. Logo for my business. I purposely turn it upside down because it shows a sign of female, and also it's a bit of a fingers up to. Do you know what?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you,
Yeah.
I'm going to
Yeah.
use your ring. I'm going to use it incorrectly, and I'm
Yeah.
going to use it for my business,
Mm.
and I'm keeping my name, whether I get married or not.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I
and in the art business, you see the same. And I've done this whole series, um, and still in museums and galleries, most of it are men and not women at all. It is,
I mean that's why I like Gillian Jason Gallery in London. They're three generations of women, and they
ah,
represent female and female representing women artists.
mhm.
Because you have, I mean, there's the Society of Women Art Dealers here in Bristol. There's a wonderful woman called Wendy, but a lot of them are kind of getting to the point where they've got no one to take over. So they're looking for young women, strong art dealers to do it. There are more and more, which is brilliant. It's brilliant. But before it was usually male gallery, pretty Russian girl who can speak Mandarin Russian, or English person that's gone to finishing school that speaks French, German, Swiss, English, 6 foot long legs, kind of to work in the galleries. But
Yeah, make you feel stupid. I had a conversation with Elizabeth Markovich, and she worked for over 40 years in the art market, specialized in impressionism. She now has Icono Art TV.
I saw that, yeah.
Yeah, it's a really, really great person. And she said that even me, they wanted to they make you feel stupid.
I know. Well, when I first started working in a gallery in London, the owner of the company said to the manager of the gallery I was working for, and complained that I wasn't wearing makeup. And wasn't doing this. So I was wearing a nice suit that was it was a silk and wool mix. It's a very expensive suit, pinstripe, but I didn't wear makeup. And he
Hmm.
complained. And luckily she turned around and she goes, I don't care if she comes in her pajamas. That woman can sell. Um, but it was interesting because their first thing was, why haven't you got heels and makeup on?
Hmm. Yeah.
Well,
And that is that
I was
is
31 years old. I didn't
yeah.
need, I mean, might
No,
need it now, but I didn't
no, you
need.
don't need it.
And also, I think that being friendly in the art world really helped me, welcoming people rather than the
Yeah.
whole, oh, do you think
Yeah.
you can afford this? What
Yeah.
I've done is I think I've personally helped encourage a lot of first time buyers and
Mhm.
help take their hand and say, you're not stupid, you've got this. Do you want to know why? Turns out they do, but they've never had the courage to verbalize it or use the
Mm.
words because
Yeah.
they've always felt if you use that word wrong, someone's going to go, oh, you say this. It's graffito, darling, not scriffito, you
Oh
know.
gosh,
Uh,
yeah. Ooh.
and it's like just say it and let me talk through it.
Mm.
And then you become more confident. When you become more confident with that, you trust your ability and then you want to learn more, don't you?
Mm.
You want to go off to those courses. You want to come and see me. You want to buy a piece of artwork. You
Yeah,
want to feel how it changes things in your house and your life.
absolutely.
Because
It
it
changes
does.
the whole energy. And I had this. I have art here, my art, and um, I had a friend over, and she was here, and I was gone. I came back. Her whole energy changed completely. I've never experienced it that strong because I live with my art. If it's not sold or it's a commission that's gone already, but you see that it has such an impact on people, such an impact. And yeah, so then we have the stories of art, and we come into this thing that let me see. You said
Yeah, this is my point of interest that I've been semi home researching about and pondering upon for a
yeah,
which
Is
is
art actually art, or
yeah,
is it a portal
is
for
it
the
a token
viewer?
or a portal?
Token,
Because
yeah.
yeah, because I mean, thing is, you can never go to an experiment where you get someone from a baby in a vacuum and somebody from a baby who's going to become an artist and then work out what is pure art and what's our connection to it. We can't. But I I just feel that when we look at something, we bring something with us. Okay. With us. So that is we're being told something about the artwork, or we're having a really bad day, or we're gonna bring I mean, I kind of what I tend to say to people, when they go, oh, my art should speak for itself. I go, well, it does, right? But every time I wake up in the morning, I put on these invisible boots. And on these boots gets muddy things like I'm hungry, I've lost my car, had an argument with my partner, oh, I didn't pick that bill up on time, I'm going to get in trouble. Oh, am I late for work? Did I answer that email? All of those little things all stick to the boots. Now, when I stand in front of your art, I've got muddy boots. So that explanation that I say to artists is not about this is what my work is about. It's a relaxing rug to say, take your boots off, stand on it, and look a while. But we're always going to have a reflection of ourselves in it. I don't think we can purely let go and look at something without our own inflections. Now, this could be my spectrum of sight. I could be slightly colorblind. I could be standing too close to it. Maybe I have, like with your tinnitus, you can sometimes feel dizzy. Like with my ear problem, I can feel dizzy and it can blur some colors. You know, sometimes it will be I've just had say for example, you've just come out of a relationship and you thought it's going to be awful and you're feeling empowered. I've broken free, I'm this, and you see that work. That is now a symbol of what you've done, and this is your celebration.
Yeah.
So often I find that people, it's like, when you go on holiday and I don't know, I buy a fridge magnet, some people buy postcards, whatever, and you put it on your fridge. Every time we go to open the fridge, I look at that little tile from Portugal and I can feel it.
Mm,
Feel a bit
yeah.
warm. I remember where I got it from. There's something
Yeah.
about humans that we love tokens to remind us. We don't need to do that. I mean, the British Museum took some rather big tokens, not going to lie, you know. But why do we go to places and feel we need to take something as a reminder? Why can't we keep it in our mind? They could
We
have said,
can, but we
yeah, we
have
can, but
unlearned that.
why do we feel that need? It's because
Yeah.
we want to be reminded of it. We
Yeah.
want to study it. We want to look at it. We want to control it. We want to own it. And so this is what I've been thinking is sometimes art sometimes is just it's almost like a portal that I can go through that can change my mood. My mood can affect it, but it always has a reflection on the viewer. So Marcel Duchamp, when he said the last stroke on every painting is done by the viewer, and this has been an argument throughout art history, I'm sure.
It is. It is.
If
But
somebody
yeah.
tells you that's a good piece of artwork, right? So maybe there's a big sculpture and it's done out of marble, and someone says that's good. Now you're going to look at it and go, "Wow, it's big. It looks like marble. Must be good." Are you actually looking at it?
Well, that is the problem. That's the problem. Because as artist, well, I can speak for myself. I learned how to observe and how to see. So I also expand my whole perception. But so I will see more than an average person.
Yeah.
That is always the case. But then also we have in our mind's eye, we live each on our own life track. So we see the world differently than, so I can say, okay, when this is finished, this means this and this. This is behind it. That's interesting and necessary to pull someone in so that they
Yeah.
can feel,
And this is
but
what I
then
mean
they
about
will make
the
their own
portal.
story.
This is
And
what I
that
mean
is,
about the
I think,
portal. Yeah.
incredibly important. Okay, I think it's both. For me, art as an object or art acts also in itself. So it exists independently. But when there is no viewer,
Yeah. Is it art?
it doesn't lie. It doesn't
Including in
live.
painting. Is it there?
But it
Is
is a
an
token of
unread text message?
transformation,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
For you or for and so when you see that big sculpture, it's marble. I can see, oh wow, this is really brilliantly done. But does it
Yeah,
touch
but
my
this is it.
heart?
And
Well,
you're
probably
also,
not. But
yeah, I mean, this is it though. See, you will potentially go for technique before narrative.
I go for
Somebody,
narrative before technique.
well, some people will look at the history of it, like they'll look at the Roman history or the Greek
Mm,
history. You know,
yeah.
okay, so this is an experiment, right? I do with people. And I go, okay, so in my hand, I have a red, shiny apple. Okay. Now, it's a red, shiny apple. You don't know my thoughts on it, and I don't know yours. So give me one memory and one comment about a red, shiny apple. Do you have any memories of red, shiny apples?
Well, the first thing is my mouth begins to water because
Okay.
I actually remember that I had a bite into an apple that was pretty red, and I took it, and my whole mouth started to. So yeah,
To salivate. Now, for me, I remember I used to shine them on my trousers like a cricket ball. And we lived in an orchard, so we used to do cricket with them, right?
yeah.
So, but I also remember biting into one once, and the skin was really tough and got stuck in my teeth, and it hurt.
Mm.
And it was so painful. So now I avoid red apples. So now we both know more about that. But in the end, it's just an apple.
It's just an apple. Yeah, yeah,
And this is about everything. So, like with relationships, you might have a discussion about the washing up. Now, I'm thinking it's the washing up. We don't need to do it right now. I'd rather just do this. But
yeah,
what I'm not thinking is the other person's going, if that washing up's not done, it's going to stress me out because when I was younger and we didn't do it, we get shouted at, and I don't want to be shouted at, and it's making me feel bad, and therefore it's stressing me out. And I'm just like, just wash it up. It's fine. We'll do it after the film. That's what communication is. So,
yeah,
in a way, you paint that painting, and I got the viewing. The conversation is the introduction between both of our points of view.
yeah,
But it
yeah,
is in that way, it's a portal into you and it's a portal into reflecting back to me
yeah,
because I'm always going to have a part of it. I'm not going to look at that painting. I'm not going to buy it if it's purely about you, unless you're my best mate. And I'll be like, my friend did that, my friend did that, my friend did that. I'm always going to be like, oh, I remember when I met this artist, and maybe you're the reason I bought it. Maybe I'd never buy a picture of a cellist. Maybe I don't even know what cello is until you told me that was the noise in Jaws. Do, 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 do. I was like, I didn't even know it was a cello. I just thought it was like I thought it was a violin. But I really like the experience of meeting Karen. She really taught me through it. And she was a musician and she told me about these vibrations on it and how that subtle movement is. And then I realized that I love that light and it really jumps out to me. And it really reminds me of my friend. And I wish I'd seen that person. And like I used to be a swimmer and my arms look like this. And all of it's going to come into that story. So it's
yeah.
not just a painting.
No, it's never just
It's
a
a,
painting,
it's a
but
portal.
the painter, the painting is exists as is because I make it, but I put my energy and my story into it. And what I notice is that it has energy because we put that into it. That energy reflects back on you. But when I just let you be and never tell anything about story, I never talk about technique because no, I talk about
Yeah.
the story. What's behind this? What is behind what is the story behind what I actually do
It's
and
because
why I do it?
there's a huge, I believe that there's a huge joint consciousness. We all do. There is like a kind of huge joint consciousness, and it is about tuning into somebody else, and we
Mm-hmm.
want to know other people's stories.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
We're storytellers.
it
We're
is
born
just
storytellers,
yeah.
and we
And
are
this is
still sitting around the campfire.
because if we weren't storytellers, well, one, what we're doing on Zoom? Why is Zoom created in the first place? Because it's for talking and for communicating.
Yeah,
Why have we got any of the things we do? The reason we do and that what differentiates ourselves from
yeah,
perhaps other animals or
yeah,
primates
yeah,
is this.
yeah.
And that is us wanting to connect and use this brain that we don't even know what it is. As far as we know, all that can be is a big Wi-Fi box. Do you know what I mean?
Well,
That's all
maybe it is.
it
The
might
right
just be
hemisphere
buzzing.
is a Wi-Fi box
It's just
because
a Wi-Fi box. We just, some
you
of the memories
download
are
it.
here,
Yeah.
some of it's all in the cloud,
Mm.
and we've just got to tune into other people. And sometimes, sometimes you can see a piece of artwork and you feel it. Like this is the reason I'm on this contemporary art journey. I think I mentioned last time about Konstantin Brancusi's Bird into Space.
Mhm. Yeah.
that I felt.
Yeah. You was really stopped in your track.
And this is
Yeah.
the reason I'm on this constant quest,
Mm.
which is brilliant because it will be constant, is I don't care what the subject is or what it is. For me, it's a connectivity between the people.
Yeah.
You know, I used to work, and I've got no interest in barometers. I'm sorry, barometer collective. But I just remember seeing people and just going, man, they're pretty cool. I like the weather and stuff, but the actual collecting barometers, not really my thing. Didn't enjoy it. But the moment I saw someone looking at the stick barometer and their eyes, I was like, "God, tell me why." And the moment they started, they were like, "Oh, should I?" And the same with trains. You
Yeah.
know, I know loads about trains and train memorabilia and stuff because the passion. And then they're like, "You're the first person that's listened." I'm like, "I'm genuinely interested, not
Hmm.
necessarily in the signal box, but I'm genuinely interested in why you love the signal box." And then
Hmm.
I'm starting to love it as well, right? But in the end, it's just a signal box.
Yeah.
But it isn't.
But it is so interesting because when you said you wanted to talk about it, I had like, okay, yeah. Because yeah, I know art exists as an object itself. It's an object and you do it in your way. And it has that energy that comes off. And some people really react to it. They you see that their energy changes. And
But
some
let's
say,
face it,
no,
as an
that
object.
doesn't speak to me, doesn't speak to me. And that is okay,
But the
you
problem
know?
is, as an object itself, it's pointless until you have the
Well, it is pointless
unless
till
there's
someone is
yeah.
actually
So it exists as an
connecting with it.
object. It exists as an object without a
Yeah,
function.
yeah.
So unless you got a hole in your wall and you're doing that, but the painting itself actually has no purpose apart from to elicit those emotions. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. It's almost like the portal. You know, the portal itself is, you know, when you watch the sci-fi films, is this, and it attracts you to it because it takes you somewhere.
Yeah.
The portal itself gets all the credit. It's called a portal. But it isn't that I'm going, oh, I love portals. I love the way it's constructed. What a perfect heliocentric circle. No, it's what the portal promises
Yeah.
that is the
Yeah.
important
And
bit.
every time it's hanging in your house, and every time you come in, you go into that portal again.
Yeah.
It will get you there again and again
Yeah.
and again.
I've
And
got one
every
picture.
time you will
Yeah.
see something else, you will feel something else, you will experience something else. And that
Yeah.
is the beauty of what art is and can be. Yeah,
Yeah. And I love that.
definitely.
I've got a piece I'm looking at now. And I bought it to sell it, not gonna lie, because I bought that in a George Large piece, which I do regret selling, but I had to sell one of them. And this one, I've never had a piece of artwork in my life that has become more and more and more relevant every time I look at it.
Yeah.
And it was
It
created
starts to
and
live with you. Yeah.
no, it's because of the way the world's going. It's
Yeah.
called New Democracy. I mean, it's a really miserable, dark picture.
Oh,
Really,
okay.
it's really morose and it's black and white etching and it's like, you know, it's got effigies and it's very Hogarthian, you know, there's a baby mummy in there and there's a dunce hat and everyone's baying at each other. But it was called New Democracy, but the irony of it, just more and more. And now we're at 2025 and I'm looking at this piece that's 30 years ago and going, it's almost prophetic.
Yeah. Yeah.
And or are we just making those same mistakes over and over again and forgetting that we've made them?
Well, Gadamer said we can't look further than our own horizon. So,
Yeah, because we look back, but when you're living in history, history doesn't have a name. So when things
yeah, but you can live in history, but then you still can't, when you can't look over your own horizon. So
you don't
behind
know
that,
it.
you have to cobble it together.
Yeah. So in the future, they'll call us the X generation of the, you know, this movement. You know, when you're in the Industrial Revolution, it wasn't called the Industrial Revolution.
No, no,
The
no.
Enlightenment was
Just that
enlightenment.
it's the same with the isms. The isms were at the first a curse word for new movements in the
Yeah.
art,
And
and then
Impressionism were
they
the only
started
thing had
to,
there. Yeah.
and then art historians started to use them to box people and artists in so that they could write about them. And now what I see, and I did an episode about artists actually start to use them for
Yeah,
themselves.
I
Really
know.
weird.
Well, I've got
Really
an artist
weird.
mentee I'm working with at the moment, and we've just come up with a whole new name for what he does. We've called him a statement artist.
Hmm.
It means nothing, but
No.
no one questions it, and everybody says it. Now,
Yeah.
the interesting thing is, he's the first statement artist,
Mm.
and we
Yeah.
just because, and it is, and it's weird when you look at it, you go, yeah, it is statement art,
Yeah.
but how do you quantify it?
Yeah.
But not one person's questioned it at all because it
No.
fits.
No.
And I thought, oh, how interesting. Oh, please get ready. Please be, let me be in history. No, joking. I want to be a footnote on some geeky person's thesis in the future and just
Well,
ref.
who knows? Who knows? I
Yeah.
just finished an essay, so.
Oh,
But this what we're talking about now um, also has to do with artists, and they say often. So if we invite people, you literally have to invite people into your world, break
yeah.
that connection so that they can with you go through that portal.
Yeah.
And there's so many artists who say, my art speaks for itself.
Mm,
And yeah, to me, that is, it's either or being afraid of saying something, or they do something, but they have no clue why they do it, or
yeah.
it's an ego thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
somewhere.
I mean, and this is it because I mean, so many people said it, and I think to be honest, a lot of people don't even think they don't think about it. It's just a statement you just say. Oh, my art should speak for itself. It's one of those kind of little phrases that you say that you don't really question.
Mm.
I do because I'm a curious little nosy what's it, and I'm always going, why do people say that? Why is that? I don't understand it. But sometimes people just say it, and then I have had people very adamantly going, no, you're wrong. Mine's untitled, and it's this. And I go, well, that's fine, but maybe say that on the door.
Mm.
Create and curate a space that says no explanations, no words needed. Ask people to leave their words or ask people to go in pure silence and say nothing and leave. That for me is art. You come in, there's no explanation, there's nothing. You go in silence, you leave, you never mention it. That would be pure. The art should speak it for itself, right?
Yeah.
If you're going to commit to that, commit to it.
But it
Don't
will
just
not
say, oh,
happen.
well, I shouldn't have to explain it.
No.
Not having to explain it. You're just you're giving someone the chance to take their mucky boots off. Because quite frankly, I mean, they did a test about when prisoners that were going up for parole and what time of day you were more likely to get parole than other times. And between, I think it was like 10:30 and midday, you were less likely to get parole because they were hungry. And you were more likely to get parole after lunch. Irrespective of what your crime is, you could have a heinous crime here and here just because someone's hungry.
Yeah.
So surely, when your art speaks for itself, wouldn't you like your art to speak for itself, but be able to get its voice over the grumbly tummy and the nagging partner and the gym membership's just been double charged and you've just got a parking ticket and your boss is this and your computer's like you forgot to send something? Because that's not letting your art speak for itself. What it
No.
is letting a person that's got so many million thoughts go around their head, super busy, sipping a bit of coffee, going, all right, and walk off. Your art's not getting to speak for itself. Your
No.
art is being ignored.
Yeah.
You inviting people and saying, hey, before the work, shake it out. You can physically get them to do it. You can do that through a story.
Yeah.
You can do that through a meditation. You can do that through them having to take a deep breath and open a curtain.
Yeah.
Your
Well,
art
my
will speak
what
for
I
itself.
have, for instance, what I will do because I have an open studio. I
Ooh,
participate in the country's
yeah,
weekend, open weekend, and this one needs to be finished. So I have after our conversation, I have to paint like crazy. But what I want to do is this is part of a series. I decided to make a playlist
oh, nice.
so then they can actually hear them play.
Yeah,
And I think people always talk, people always ask me. I've done it before. And I love the conversations because I love telling stories. I tell stories on the canvas, but I also love to tell stories. And the whole idea, why did you paint her? Well, because, okay. And why? Well, because, and this is the story behind it. And because I decided to do it like this. And yeah,
But
I
also,
love that.
as a person that doesn't paint, I mean, I'm conceptual type of artist, you know what I mean? My art is a different type. I can't draw very well. I can't paint very well. So therefore, I think what you do is magic, right? Now, you want to know a bit more about it. I
Yeah,
don't want all the secrets, but I know damn well that if you gave me that canvas and said paint someone with a cello, it's not going to look anything like that. If you give most people a blank piece of paper and a pen, you're going to get a little 1950s pointy house with a chimney, or you're going to get a stick man or a little rabbit, right? Because we don't have that confidence to do it. So we do actually want to ask questions.
yeah,
We don't often get to that opportunity. And we all have questions. All
yeah,
humans do.
yeah,
That's why
yeah,
we Google the hell out of things. That's why Wikipedia
yeah,
exists.
yeah,
That's why
yeah,
encyclopedias existed. That's why people travel around the world and documented things and brought them back. That's why we had traveling circuses, because people want to know. People used to be able to visit prisons and mental asylums.
yeah.
There's no reason for that. It's because we want to know.
We want to know.
Always, we
And
want
so
to
be
know.
open. I say to artists when I talk to them, just be open,
Yeah.
open and invite people. So um,
Yeah.
when you see these booths, and I was in the art fair often when I lived in London, when the VAA, in the open art fair. And what struck me was that people are like,
Yeah.
they don't see you. Like, I don't want to see you. I don't want to see you. Just look at my art, but I don't want to see you. And I have like, no, invite people in.
Yeah, or
Let
if
them
you can't
ask.
do that, because I work with people with neurodiversity, I also volunteer and work with people that have been going through domestic violence and different things like that. So if there's a lot of reasons sometimes that you can't get out and talk to people. If you do, just make it clear.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong. I
No.
will look at that and just say, either if you're going to be very honest, I'm autistic. Here are three questions that I know I can answer. Or here's an iPad that talks about my process and my practice.
Yeah.
Here's this about it. Give that information
Yeah.
in the way you
Here,
can.
this is the playlist. This is
Might
the
be
cue code.
enough.
Just listen to it. Yeah.
There was one artist from Georgia. I've totally forgotten his name. I'm so sorry for listening. And he's a lovely. And we were just changing around with some of his titles, and we decided what we were going to do is every hour people were allowed to write down what they thought the title might be. We'd invite them, and every hour we would swap it and put their title.
Mhm.
So then someone else would come and write their own title, and we'd swap it. So if you came back 2 hours later, it'd be a different title.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
What?
we were like, well, no, but this is a point of interest of like,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
do you want to? And some people
Yeah.
might be like, not interested in the art, but I'd love to title a painting.
Yeah.
But other people, it's like, has that title affected how you felt about it? When you look at it, what do you think that title is?
Mm.
And then it's also fascinating for the artist because he had like, 12 of these things just going, wow, this is what people are seeing in the work and this is how it's making them feel. So you can have like a level of interaction with it without really having to have a conversation. He just
Yeah.
had a note on it because he wasn't that confident with his English.
Yeah.
I'm going to change the
Yeah.
title of his painting to what you do. Here's a piece of paper and a pen. Please study the work and see what you would call it.
Mhm. I find that a great idea. Yeah, that
It's
is.
a good way
I mean,
to
that is such. That is such a great thing because when you do that, people have to look at the art and they
yeah.
have to start seeing, and
Ugh.
it broadens their perception. And then you get communication. Perception is one of the most important rules of communication to start with.
Well, we had I did
And
a great one with this one artist, and a lot of her work. It was just after COVID, and she works a lot with disabilities, and she works in kind of like poorer communities with a higher level of illness and disability. And and a whole load of it was about COVID because it had really affected her being shut down and locked in for 2 years essentially. But then we went. she had a lot of work, and I went, right, for one of these walls, we're just going to make up stupid titles for no reason at all, right? Just to see, because people are, oh, yeah, yeah, to see it stop. One of them was, I effing hate Mondays for no reason, right? And somebody went, oh, yeah, yeah. What? Like this? And they were just silly ones, like, uh, uh, Die Quietly was one of them. You know,
Mhm.
someone was coughing. And we just made up some stupid titles. Like, if I see another Wednesday again, I'm going to scream. And we just made them up for a laugh. But
Yeah,
it was a real stop. And people go, why have you called it that? Well, I don't like Mondays either, but what? And you just go, well, it's not that. But I wanted
no,
you to stop in front of the
yeah,
painting and have a chat.
yeah, yeah,
And sometimes you can kind of just enjoy and play. Because I think, I mean, you might agree with this. Like, history is written by historians, and historians are influenced by, well, their publishers, by the people who write them. You know, you've got the chroniclers from the medieval period, but still, the next king comes in, edit, edit, edit. Oh no, he was wonderful, rather than, oh, he's like typically skinny and he'll never make king. Oh shoot, what a strong masculine man! What a wonderful king we've all been waiting for. But then our history can take a lot of the personality out of the person out of it. They'll give it an
yeah.
insight into it, right?
And a lot of it is also the procrustes bad. They just see something, they cobble it together and make it fit. And
Yeah, because fascinatingly, I've got a bit obsessed with David Bomberg, and I've got like big book on David Bomberg. I ended up meeting the person that went to collect him from Spain
mhm,
when he was
mhm.
dying, and he told me the truth. So now I know the real story of how his life ended, and and I love him as an artist anyway, but I kind of feel like I've got a little secret or a little bit
Little
more.
secret. Are you going to write about it?
I feel like I've got that further connection.
Mhm.
And that for me feels magical. You know,
Yeah,
it's not a secret, but it's a magical connection. I've met the person with the person.
yeah,
Rather than him just being written about this and then finding out there's those extra bits of it. Because, David Bomberg refused to be part of any group.
mm,
The Vorticism movement, as we called it, they actually called it then, with Wyndham Lewis, with the poet, had to stop because immediately war broke out. But
yeah.
they did have an exhibition, and he said, I'm not a vorticist. But they put his work outside, and I do get a bit upset because I definitely went onto a website recently who said they were specialists in it, and they referred to him as a vorticist, which he most definitely said he wasn't. And so yeah, so they had his piece on here, and he refused to be part of that group. Then there was kind of this movement, and the industrialist movement, all this, refused to be part of all these. And then he went into he taught at Borough Road. Just taught. He was a teacher, and then he ended up just going out and doing watercolors out somewhere. This is the antithesis of the career that we all kind of advise on it. But his was very much about my art is my art. I don't need to stick to a movement
Yeah,
with it.
yeah, yeah.
And that rebellious nature might not have made him rich, but it was never about making you rich.
No,
And without first caveman put hand in pigment and went, this will make my cave worth a lot of money.
yeah.
You know.
But that is what I found when I started reading about Elisabetta Serrani, 16 years old in the Renaissance period.
Mm,
And
mm.
she took over the studio of her father. She was a huge talent, huge talent.
But
But
it's
she also
interesting
was
that
a,
it was only the ones it was the women that made it were the ones that had the opportunity and the access. That was it. Which shows to me it was, like Artemisia Gentileschi, obviously with her father, but that lady, but the ones that had made it are the ones that grew up in that art background, which only goes to show to me if more women had been afforded the luxury of being able to study it,
yeah,
how much more creation we would have got,
definitely.
how
Yeah,
many different views we would have got, and
mm,
how many of
yeah,
the
yeah,
different gazes and
yeah. But if
interpretation.
you just
When I
understand
yeah,
that
because men will
that
interpret Zeus and they'll go Zeus and the swan. I'm going, but he raped Leda under a guise
yeah,
of
yeah,
a
yeah, yeah,
swan.
yeah, yeah.
But the male one is very much
Catherine
like
McCormick
it's very
writes about that.
eroticized.
Yeah,
It's like an
yeah.
eroticized
The
Leda.
Rape of
No.
Apollo of
Yeah,
Titian, and so many abusive paintings with a
but they've
big
done it
capital
very much.
A, and it
Yeah,
is
but the woman is
straight
very
out.
The
abusive.
woman is like this, like, oh, this.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah,
but if more women had potentially had that access to painting, you would have then had that more balancing of
mm,
actually, this isn't a romanticized thing.
yeah, yeah.
It
But if
should
you
be.
understand that Sarani, even though she came from a background, she wasn't allowed in the studio to paint
Yeah,
naked. She, when her father couldn't paint anymore, she took over
yeah.
and she painted. And he was outside in his network. She had to actually demonstrate that she was the one who did this because they thought it was her father and not her, because it wasn't possible that a woman would do this as good as she did.
Yeah, I know.
She had to
And yeah,
demonstrate live that she did it. Yeah.
what was I looking at recently? There was a nun who was an artist, Renaissance period, in the oh
Yeah, I think that is,
in
it is
the
either
what's it
gentle,
Nelly the elephant, Pautina Nelly, I'm sure.
mhm.
Self-taught. That was girl. She was self-taught, but she was a nun. Luckily not an immured nun. She was a nun and she was self-taught. And she was in the Cinquecento, like the mid 1500s to the late, I think. I'm sure her name was Paulina Nelly. But she was self-taught. But they did then also have access to the manuscripts.
Yeah.
So, because, a lot of the monks are, oh God, I've got to do another manuscript. Come on, help me. So they want to so they get a lot of the nuns would actually help. And it's a
Yeah.
painstakingly painful job.
That is
You know,
incredible.
doing the
Yeah.
calligraphy, doing all the
Yeah.
painting and the illuminated manuscripts
Yeah.
precisely was mixing those tiny bits of pigment and painting it and keeping that dilution and everything. Doing that, so they had some access to pigments at least. I just think, yes, female rights. Any men listening to this, we do also like you, but stand up for women.
Yeah, we do. But yeah, we still have to catch up for ourselves.
Yes.
Anyways, Karen,
Anyway,
this
thank
was a lovely, lovely conversation.
you. I
As
know we do
usual,
go
when we
on, don't
talk
we?
together.
I know. But this is it though. We like, let's do this in 40 minutes. Oh, we can do. I could talk to you for hours, Karen. Thank you so much. I apologize to anyone listening if I have gone completely off track on some of those. I'm
No,
still,
you didn't,
and
because it is a lovely conversation and it's important. I mean, this needs to go out and it's good to have a conversation, right?
yeah. Well, I
Yeah,
hope you can
exactly.
enjoy because I think that's what I like about podcasts like this. It's like not just interview.
No, no, no,
Someone
no,
could be
no.
in their studio listening to it and just going along, or could be in the car on a journey listening to it, or just have it on their headphones or in the kitchen. It's something that you can listen along to that is going to take you on a journey that you don't know. And with us, you never know where that
You
journey.
never know where you end.
Anyway, bless you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.